Yo, what is up, YouTube? Hey, we back with another video, but this video we're gonna go about support and resistance, because I know it's probably a lot of confusion about it still, but we're gonna go over it in a Google fashion, like right here. Just type in on Google what is support and resistance. This the first thing y'all gonna see, and we're gonna go over all of this basically. Support and resistance. Support is the level at which demand is strong enough to stop the stock from falling any further. So you see at this level right here, this level of demand, every time it drop right here, it goes back up, right? That's what they mean by that support right there. Resistance is basically a level where people start, well, where investors start selling it, which you see it right here. Every time we get to the top, they start selling. But every time we get to the bottom, they start buying. This right here, what you call a breakout, a shift in momentum. No matter how long a trend is going for, like any kind of trend, like trend of buying new cars every year, trend of buying a new phone, any kind of trend. Once that trend shift and change, once this shift changed in the stock market, like you can profit off of that as well, because then that would be a breakout, a shift in momentum is going in a new direction. So once you've seen it past this old resistance, you could have hopped in for a breakout and you would have known it would have kept running till it find like another resistance. Then it came back, and then this resistance turned into a support level. So basically you see how it acts. It can't break, it can't go below. It did break, and then it started a new trend off of this old one. So yeah, just because you buy something right here, it doesn't mean you'll make money, because it could break that and keep going down. It's just with your hypothesis and with your knowledge, you think it's gonna, return a profit. But psychology of support and resistance, support and resistance. We might as well click on this link right here. What is this? In stock market technical analysis, support and resistance are certain predetermined levels of the price of a security at which it is thought that the price will tend to stop and reverse. These levels are denoted by multiple touches of price without a breakthrough of the level. So, photo will show you right here. Support level, bounce. Resistance level. So once something breaks that support, you can expect for it to act as a resistance again, right? And boom, support, but it was a resistance. But let's click on this link, see what kind of info this link got for us. Fidelity, that's a broker. This I think this is a good video, because a lot of people go on Google and type this shit in, but since I got some like background knowledge to it, I can type it in on Google and also give y'all a little breakdown analysis of it as well. Support and resistance levels are important points in time where the forces of supply and demand meet. These support and resistance levels are seen by technical analysis as crucial when determining market psychology and supply and demand. When these support or resistance levels are broken, the supply and demand forces that created these levels are assumed to have moved, in which case new levels of support and resistance will likely be established. So let me break this down in the easiest way ever. I don't even know how easy it could get, because with investing, all you doing is reading shapes and patterns, and people think it's confusing, but it's really not confusing. It's something new. It's something new you never done. So yeah, it's gonna be a little confusing, but it's not that hard. It's just confusing. Like you can overcome the confusion easily. Support is the level at which demand is strong enough to stop the stock from falling any further. In the image above, you can see each time the price reaches the support level, it has difficulty penetrating that level. The rationale is that as price drops and approach support, buyers' demand become more inclined to buy, and sellers' supply become less willing to sell. But just because it says support don't mean it can't keep going down. Resistance is a level at which supply is strong enough to stop the stock price from moving higher. In the image above, you can see each time price reaches the resistance level, it has a hard time moving higher. The rationale is that as price rises and approaches resistance, Sellers' supply become more inclined to sell, and buyers' demand become less willingly to buy. Boom. But it's so many different ways to trade because someone who trade order blocks will come in here and be like, they'll talk how trash this is. You can talk how trash order blocks are as well. Nothing is 100%. Nothing is 100%. So I don't see why people argue or disagree with how other people trade because you trade different from me, but your way isn't 100%. So it's millionaires trading off of support and resistance, and it's millionaires from order blocks. So ain't really no issue. Let's see what they talking about now. Prior resistance becomes support. Prior support becomes resistance. Uh, a little about this. If something say something break out of resistance, right, and you miss it and it runs up, you miss it. You be like, damn man, I was gonna get in for the breakout. Wait for it to come back down at that same level and hopefully it'll hold it as a support and you can get back in it. Like that's why a lot of breakouts retest. Like they break out. Like if you day trading, you'll notice this a lot. Something break out on a 5 minute candle and then like two candles back it come back, then it take off. So if you missed out on the initial breakout, just wait for it to pull back. And once it pull back to that support, boom. Same for here. If you missed that breakout through support, wait for it to become a resistance and boom. All I want y'all to understand is like how support and resistance work. Resistance is at the ceiling, something you can't get over. Support is at the bottom, something you can't get below. Let's see what else Google got for us, man. Oh yeah, let's go over this. This is a trend line support. So not only is it straight, not only is it horizontal, it's also sideways. Trend shit, trend line. That's what we call it. I don't know the fucking name, but this basically a trend line support. So you draw your line out. You probably draw your line from the first touch to the second one, right? And then just stretch it all the way out. And then after you stretch it all the way out, you will notice that from here, boom, it touched the trend line for the third time. You could buy. Boom, you could buy. Boom, you could buy. So all you're looking for is patterns. And I did make one YouTube video about patterns, stock patterns. If you watch the video about stock patterns, you'll learn a lot because you'll understand like, oh, this shit is all about reading patterns, bro. Here we go. This Amazon. Was this Amazon when it was $60? How old is this? Oh, this is March 3rd, 2000. Damn, that's crazy. Also, with gaps, when a stock gap up, it's a high chance that it'll gap fill, right? So what you could do is you can mark your support and resistance at these gaps. I'm gonna show you a live demonstration. Watch this live demonstration. Let me take all these indicators off. Look messy, huh? Now look how clean it look. Boom, gaps. So you see this big old gap right here, right? Stock price closed on this candle and it gapped all the way down, right? And sooner or later it got back up. That's called a gap fill. So as soon as it gap fill, you can mark that level up and look for it to bounce down, or you can look for it to break above. So this gap fill is basically a future resistance. So yeah, you know it's gonna gap fill, but you'll look at as soon as it gap fill, you'll look at it as a future resistance, which it kind of was. If you went short right here, you would have profited. You would have profited like a $2 move, something like that. So yeah. Another one is right here. It went from right here up there. See right here, it broke. See right here, it could have used this as a support, right? Because this was old resistance, but it broke through that and it came back and used it as a resistance, and then it dropped. So basically, all you're doing is First, you want to learn how to read lines from horizontally, and then reading them from side to side to be way easier. But yeah, it ain't too much to it. It ain't nothing. It ain't hard or none of that. It's just you gotta apply the knowledge you have to it, and you'll be straight. The only difference between me and other people that don't start doing this is because I applied the knowledge and I learned through mistakes. You never fail unless you give up. I just made some mistakes and took some L's and I learned from it. But yeah, for me, like I study this shit like the same way someone study becoming a doctor or study a nurse or some shit. I study stocks the same way. Like you spend 5 hours studying after work, I do the same thing. Like like right now, I'm studying. But yeah, if you want to be successful trading, you just gotta study. That shit don't come easy. You just gotta read hella books and understand patterns and shapes. And you really gotta have a passion for it because I know for me, I really got a passion for it. And I'm gonna take it to the next level. But yeah, the next video we're gonna go over some indicators. And hopefully y'all learned something from this support and resistance video. And yeah, I'm gonna see y'all in the next video.